When people talk about political framing, at one level or another, whether they know it or not, they're probably talking about the strategies, the theories, and the approaches of our guest. He is the author of several best-selling books, most prominent among them a book called Don't Think of an Elephant. And he's also been an advisor to numerous progressive Democratic candidates in the United States at the congressional level, the Senate level, and most recently, and probably most successfully, he was a key communication advisor to Barack Obama in his historic run for the presidency.
When you look at the internal structure of the moral system of conservatives, that moral system has certain entailments, and one of the entailments has to do with priorities. The highest priority in the conservative moral system is preserving and extending the moral system itself. Right? So you saw that, for example, Obama would say, oh, I'm going to reach across the aisle, give me a suggestion to put in the health care plan. And conservatives will give them some suggestion. They'll say, great, we'll put it in. And then the conservatives vote against it. Why? Morality. That principle. If they voted for it, they'd be helping Obama and hurting conservatism. They can't do that. That would be immoral. To a conservative, they're thinking logically, rationally. Why? Because they're thinking in terms of the logic of their moral system and their sets of frames that fit that moral system. Right? So I'm not saying you should be irrational. I said you should use real rationality, the way people really think. And logic does have to do with connected discourse, with fitting things together within the same moral system. Notice I've been doing that here. You know, I'm not trying to go back and forth and say, oh, in one sentence I'm speaking conservative terms and the other one progressive terms. I know who you guys are. You know, you're here in the Alberta Federation of Labor. You know, I know this audience, and I know the logic that you will think in terms of. And you may not have thought of these particular things, but yeah, I'm drawing them out. And that can be done in general. I'm not saying, you know, am I drawing on emotion? You bet I am. Because you're angry about many things. You're sad about many things. You know, you're disgusted with many things. You're happy about other things. Right? And that's showing up here in this talk. You haven't figured out almost anything intuitively. Even drilling oil, even getting oil out of the oil sands. You haven't done it because of intuition. You're engineers. You know, the point is that in every part of everybody's life, they're dependent on science and technology, and they trust it. But there's a view that when it goes against their moral system, they will go against it. That is, when there is something in their conservative moral system that contradicts a certain range of scientific things, then they'll ignore the science. And that follows from a general fact. The fact is that if you tell people the facts and it contradicts their frames, the frames stay and the facts are ignored. If you have people in a union should not just be in a union, they should be part of a community. Unions are parts of communities, but they talk about themselves as saying, we won a victory over Walmart. Rather, they should be saying, Walmart saw the light. And Walmart came around and did something both for its workers and for themselves. Why for themselves? Because it's good to have workers who are part of a union that is part of this community. Because Walmart's going to be part of this community. It's good to have workers who have reasonable benefits because they're going to be better workers. And they're not only better workers, their friends will not hear their complaints about their terrible salaries and benefits. You know, it's better for Walmart to unionize.